welcome our live stream audience. This is our third concert of the Piano Festival 2014, and we're very honored and excited to have Andrea Lam, who has been heralded as one of Australia's finest concert pianists ever to come from that lovely country down under. And she also performs with the Claremont Trio, which we've had for Sun Valley Artist Series 2 seasons in a row. They usually play at Christmas time during Christmas week. And we're going to chat for our pre-concert interview. So at this point, I'm going to bring Andrea on out. Let's welcome her. Now, I could be wrong, Andrea, but I think in the history of piano performance, this is the first time any pianist has had to have a pre-concert interview right before a solo piano recital.
Perhaps. We are making history right now.
We are.
Right in this
and I know
room.
you love me for it.
I'll let you know after.
Okay, so welcome. Andrea is lives in Manhattan, but I detect a bit of an accent. You want to share that?
I was born in Sydney, but I've been living in America for the past, it's been a long time, 14 years now. But I get to go back home to Australia pretty often, which is nice.
And I thought the story I heard was when you just got back from Australia that your friends in Australia were teasing you about having a bit of a Manhattan accent.
Yeah, I can't please anybody. People here think I sound funny, and people in Australia make fun of my accent. So it's kind of in that nebulous, not one or the other accent right now.
Okay, now being a typical New Yorker, you don't have a current driver's license. And usually Evan, your lovely husband, takes care of you when you're here in Sun Valley. So we just want to say hi to Evan.
Hi.
Because he's watching LiveStream back in Manhattan, along with our LiveStream audience.
Hi, Mom.
And would she be in Australia?
She would be in Australia.
Okay, so we're getting a little worldwide exposure here on the LiveStream, which is very special.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so in the basket in the kitchen,
Yes.
we have some Mozart concerti with you featured as the soloist for sale. And I think there's only 12 available.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that recording? Because that's pretty special.
It's really exciting. It was my first CD. And I recorded them about 6 years ago, so I wasn't really sure if it would ever come out. And it just got released just before I came here. So I opened the box and I brought some over with me. And they're 2 Mozart concertos, number 17 in G major and number 15 in B flat. And they're with the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra and Nicholas Melton. And I'm so happy to have my name on a CD. It's really exciting. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so we're 2014. Was this recorded possibly the year Andrea was a semifinalist with the Van Cliburn competition in 2009?
Yeah, it was actually recorded about a month afterwards. So I finished and then I went to Australia and played these 2 concertos that I had. They weren't in my repertoire for the Cliburn, so there was a lot of music going on at that point, which is nice.
Okay, so tell us, what have you been doing this past year? I know you've been performing with the Claremont Trio.
Yes, it's so nice to be back. You have such an incredible community here, and it's such a treat to come and see familiar faces, and I feel really honored to be able to come back. And it's so warm, it's crazy. Every time, people are wearing t-shirts and singlets, it's amazing. It's really special to be back. So yeah, I've been playing with the trio a lot. I'm going back to Australia at the end of the year to play with the Melbourne Symphony, playing in Dallas next month.
What's happening in Dallas?
There's a...
Don't they have accents down there too?
They do, yeah. But I didn't pick up anything when I was there. I was there for 3 weeks. I steered clear of that accent. I love it, but I just couldn't pick it up. And so it's a concert of Messiaen's... it's a bunch of Cliburn pianists getting together and playing this piece by Messiaen. So that should be fun. And just a lot of the usual traveling and playing. And
the usual. Yes.
It's pretty great.
Well, Steve and I have this desire every time we have artists come into town for our presentations for Sun Valley Artist Series. They're hosted in the most beautiful homes. So we kind of, one of these times we're going to have you stay in our upstairs bedroom and we're going to take your host home.
Well, I mean, this isn't too bad. I mean, who has 2 9-foot pianos?
That is, that's the hook.
Yeah,
that is the hook.
Pretty great.
Andrea, we have a newly acquired Fazioli. It's an Italian piano that Andrea had the privilege of performing on. It was the first performance on our Fazioli, I believe it was 2 seasons ago.
Yes, it was about 1.5 years ago. And I think you'd only had the piano for 2 weeks, and you were
Correct.
you were so excited, and it's changed so much in that time. It's really interesting to see how the piano's changed and developed, and it's a beautiful instrument.
It's also an amazing combination. Steve and I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Fazioli last summer at the Fazioli factory. And he's aware that we're presenting his piano at this festival, but we've had a few comments now that we're on concert number 3 that people are loving the sound of the Fazioli compared to the Steinway.
That's blasphemous.
So maybe next time I see Mr. Fazioli, I might share that. I think he would be very proud. I think he'd be very proud. This evening's program, let's see. We have Haydn, Brahms, Debussy, Gershwin. I think there was a change that you'll be talking about.
There's a slight change. I can talk about it now or just
No,
before
you'll
I
talk
play
about
it
it when you announce your pieces. We like hearing about you, and then when you play the music, we'll hear about the music. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, so would you say, one of the things I'm always curious about as a pianist myself, when you sit down to practice on any given day, where do you find some of your inspiration and your decisions to make repertoire choices?
That's an interesting question. Well, that's slightly related to my program choice and my program change as well. It's slightly weather related, just being in New York over a seemingly endless winter. So that influenced the program that I put together. But I get a lot of inspiration just traveling and hearing other people and playing with other people. And just being here and playing on the different pianos in people's houses. I mean, everyone's house here people have given so much thought to their spaces, and they're so beautiful. So you get inspiration from that, I think.
That was one of my motivations when I conceived of this festival, and Andrea was my first artist that I invited to join us. And not only do I think it's a thrill for the community to hear these performances, but we have 17 performers over the next 3 days, and 5 have come in from Los Angeles, and we have, are there 4 from New York, 3 or 4 from New York?
There's John, Andrew, and me, and Tara.
So 3 from New York.
I think that's, yeah.
And it's inspiring. Often being a pianist is a bit lonely. We have a repertoire that takes hours and hours and hours to rehearse. So just having the energy and everyone hearing each other play. I think we have a couple artists. John Andrew, I think I saw earlier, is here in the audience. Yes, hi John. It really has Laura. We have pianists here in the Sue Connor. We have pianists coming together and being inspired. So you've got a lot of support from the community and from our piano friends. It's very special.
It is. It's pretty great. Pianos, as you say, we don't get a lot of chances to hang out and play and have a jam session. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, a classical jam session.
Classical jam session.
I do want to say too, for the live streaming experience, this is our first year with a live stream audience, and we've had 2 concerts now, and a lot of people are responding and thanking us for bringing and using technology to reach other areas of not only maybe Idaho, not only the United States, but as you said, your family's watching in Australia, and I have some Italian friends that might be watching right now too.
That's awesome.
So one more comment about the Fazioli. We've had some nicknames already coming through with all these pianists playing on this piano, and one was the Beast. But you said it's changed in the last 1.5 years since you've played it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think when I first tried it, it hadn't been voiced or regulated, so it was pretty uneven. But you could tell how much power it had. It was I've never, as you say, I can't drive, but it's what I'd imagine like Italian sports car to feel like.
A Ferrari?
Yeah, and it's what I'd imagine that would feel like. It's just like there's a lot of horsepower. It's a lot of There's a lot behind the engine or something.
Speedy. We'll call it speedy.
Yeah. So.
Anything you want to add before we let you do your magic, Andrea?
Not really. Just thank you all for coming, and it's just really nice to be back.
Amen. Thank you. We're going to give Andrea.